and welcome back to the Offbeat Gardener. On today's episode, I'm going to be showing you how to make a quick and easy chicken shawarma recipe. It's super delicious, super easy, very hands-off. All you have to do is mix everything up, refrigerate it for a little bit, and then cook it. It's really that simple. Let's get into it right now. Alright, so let's talk ingredients. So the star of the show is the chicken, and this is organic free-range chicken breast, which I'm gonna cut up into little strips because when you make shawarma, you want to make it in little like fajita style strips. You don't absolutely have to, but that's traditionally how it's done. I mean, if you want to leave it whole, like whole pieces of chicken, or use chicken tender, you can do that. It's up to you, but I'm gonna go ahead and pre-chop this. So I have 3 packages. Each is about a little over a pound. The recipe calls for 1 pound of chicken, but I'm gonna double, maybe even triple this recipe. I'm gonna start with 2 of the containers of chicken and see how that goes, and if I feel like I need more, then I'll use the 3rd. And I just want to give you a heads up about this chicken. I've seen a lot of people talk about Butcher Box, and this Farmer Focus brand is, to the best of my knowledge, I could be wrong, but to the best of my knowledge, the Farmer Focus brand is the one that Butcher Box offers in terms of chicken, and this is available at Lidl. I don't know if you have a Lidl that's local to you. It's kind of like the sister grocery store to Aldi, but Lidl does carry this, and they also carry, I believe, a thin sliced one, but I got the regular chicken breast because I want like nice chunky pieces. So just a heads up, like I said, if you're looking to order this particular brand of chicken from Butcher Box, but you don't want to place an order with Butcher Box for whatever reason, if you're wondering what all that noise was in the background, this is what it is. I got distracted with an adorable cat, so I have no idea where I left off talking about this chicken, but long story short, Lidl has it as an alternative to Butcher Box. So the next ingredients you're going to want for this recipe: some lemon juice, cinnamon, ground paprika, some cayenne pepper, 7 spices, which I'll talk about in a second, parsley flakes, ground black pepper, which this is the pepper that I'm using for this recipe and for all recipes, to be honest with you, because it's absolutely fantastic. It's my favorite pepper of all time. I have yet to taste anything more delicious than this. It's really, really good. I'll leave a link down below to Azure, so if you want to pick this up. So delicious. So that's the one that's in the grinder. Then we have some salt, olive oil, and some Greek yogurt. So I just have the little container, and because I'm probably going to double, maybe even triple this recipe, I have 2 of these. The whole point of the yogurt and the lemon juice is that it tenderizes the meat. I mean, not only does it add delicious flavor to the meal, but it also makes the chicken nice and soft. So going back to the 7 spices, this is like a Middle Eastern mix of spices, and if you do not have a local Middle Eastern grocery store or ethnic food store that sells something called 7 spices that they make like in-house, this brand right here, which is readily available at a lot of supermarkets these days, but still you can find it at ethnic food stores, they make a 7 spice mix as well, and I believe there might be one on Amazon, which I can link down below if you either can't find this in your local grocery store or you don't have an ethnic food store nearby. Obviously this is not the correct one. This is a beef biryani one, but I just want to show you the brand. It comes in a box like this, and it'll say 7 spices on it. And worst case scenario, if you're not able to find something from a local grocer that they make in-house, or you're not able to find that brand, I just put it over there, that's why I'm pointing that way. If you're not able to find that brand, I'm gonna leave a recipe down below for this spice mix, so you can make it at home. It's pretty simple. You just mix together a bunch of ground spices and you have your 7 spice mix. So I'll leave that down below for you, as well as the recipe for this meal. Now for me, I've made it enough times that I'm familiar with what goes in it and whatever, but I don't really measure when I cook. I generally just kind of eyeball everything according to my taste and like what we like to eat. So if you are the type of person that needs to follow a recipe, or you prefer to follow a recipe, I'll leave a recipe for this meal down below. But just know that when I'm doing it right now, all I'm doing is just tossing things in, eyeballing things, and I'm not measuring anything. I'm just going by how I like to season my food. So just keep that in mind. I forgot to mention, you're gonna want a big Tupperware or like a big Ziploc bag to put your chicken in with your spices and everything, because you want it to marinate. Ideally, if you can leave it overnight, that's really the best, or all day if you can manage that. If not, leave it in the fridge for like an hour or 2, and that should help all of the spices and everything kind of melt together. So just have like a Ziploc or some kind of container ready to go so that you can put all your chicken mixture in it and put it in the refrigerator. this is approximately the size that you want your chicken to be for this recipe. So here's where our chicken's at. I ended up cutting all 3 packages, so I don't know if you can see how that looks. So this is about, I'd say like 4¼ pounds maybe of chicken, something like that. I'm not exactly sure of the weight. I figured since I have all the chicken here and getting my hands dirty, I might as well make a big batch, and whatever we don't eat today or tomorrow, it'll go in the freezer for another lunch or dinner some other day. Here comes the fun part. We're gonna add all of our spices and everything. And like I said, I just eyeball this. If you want the exact recipe, I can leave that down below. So first and foremost, let's start with some ground pepper. Now we're going to add some salt. Ground cinnamon. Our 7 spices. Cayenne pepper. Paprika. Parsley. Olive oil. Lemon juice. And yogurt. This recipe does call for cardamom. Unfortunately, I just ran out of cardamom, so I don't have any to add in here, but that's all right. It's not going to make a huge difference when it comes to this recipe. As I was pouring the spices in here, perhaps you were thinking to yourself, whoa, she is extremely heavy-handed with her spices. Yes, I am. But once everything gets mixed up together, you'll see it kind of like balances itself out. I mean, it is a lot of chicken, and I do like to heavily spice my food. So for us / me, this is perfect. Let me go ahead and mix this up, and I'll show you what it looks like when we're done. All right, we got that nice and mixed up. You can see all the spices, how wonderful that looks. Everything is coated really beautifully. So now all we got to do is put the lid on this thing and put it in the fridge until we're ready to cook it. Alright guys, it's been about 5 hours since I put this in the fridge, and you can see that there's a little bit of water here, like some juices coming out from this chicken. That's totally normal. What I usually do before I start cooking it is I just kind of mix everything together, and it's not a problem. That's just a normal part of making this recipe. The yogurt and the juices from the chicken and everything, it's gonna kind of come out as you let it marinate. So there's a few different ways that you can cook this. You can absolutely put this in the oven and cook it that way. You can also cook it on the stove top. Today what I'm choosing to do, since I already have it out, I'm going to be cooking it in my Ninja grill. If you do not have this grill and you want like an indoor alternative to having to fire up your regular grill outside, or you're out of propane or whatever the case may be, this is a great alternative. This machine is fantastic and it has all kinds of functions. You can bake with it, you can air fry with it, you can grill with it. There's just a bunch of functions that this machine does. I can link it down below for you if you're interested. But what I'm gonna do is go ahead and load up this Ninja grill with our delicious chicken and cook it up, and then I'll show you how I'm gonna serve it. All right guys, here's the finished product. It looks delicious. It has some really beautiful char on it from that grill. You can still see all the nice herbs that we put in there, the parsley, all the spices. It looks so good. So now there's a few different ways that you can eat this. What we're doing today is we're gonna have it with a side of rice. And I sliced up some pickles. These are all homegrown tomatoes over here that I diced up. We have some pickled turnips here. We have some home canned beets that I made. I actually filmed this process of me making the beets, which I haven't posted yet, so stay tuned for that. That's coming up. And we have some yogurt here. We're gonna eat it on top of rice or with rice on the side. And you can always add like hummus or tahini sauce or whatever to make it a little more juicy if that's what you prefer. Also, you can always put this in a sandwich. Shawarma traditionally is a sandwich meal. So, you know, if you get some really good quality pita bread, if you have a Middle Eastern grocer next to you, I would suggest going there and getting some pita bread, some authentic pita bread, or whatever you can find at the supermarket. If you can't find pita bread, then maybe tortillas. I mean, you can use anything you want, and you just put a little bit of chicken in there, some of your veggies, maybe some lettuce, tomato, some garlic sauce. If you want to put like a garlic sauce, that would make it really delicious. I didn't think to do that today. And now that I mentioned garlic, I just realized I forgot to put garlic in the marinade, because the recipe does call for garlic, and I totally forgot about that. So whoops, but it's all good, no worries. It's still delicious. I tasted it, so it's fine. But yeah, if you put it in a sandwich, I would suggest wrapping the sandwich in like foil and putting it in a George Foreman or a panini press or something to get a nice crisp on the bread. It'll be super delicious. I mean, the possibilities are endless, and no matter which way you slice it, it's gonna be super yummy. So just want to show you that process of making a very quick and easy meal. Really, the prep time is like 30 minutes tops, depending on how much chicken you're planning to cut up. If you bought pre-sliced chicken, then you don't even have to worry about that step. So there's different options that you have with this. You could do the whole chicken breast if you wanted to and grill that up, or fry it, or put it in the oven. And I hope you give it a try. If you do, please let me know down below in the comments. Happy eating if you choose to make this dish. All right, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!